Every now and then a guitar that I built in the past comes up on the market, and I've often thought, hey, I should buy that, and then I think, no, what if I hate my work? We bought it, it's on Daily Guitar Draw, it could be yours. It's currently live and helping us raise funds to create an epic guitar museum. But I'm getting used to doing reviews. I'm becoming the person that reviews other people's guitars from the point of view of being a guitar builder. And would it not be amusing and potentially painful to look at something I built and film it? I remember this guitar. I loved it. I love this, the whole thing. And I'm already spotting stuff that I did back then that I should not have. Stab and twist right in my insecurities. So this is a PAF Hollow, PAF, patent applied for, guitar-based thing. And it has Copperleaf on the back and a textured copper finish on the front, and we're going to talk about how I did this. In fact, I'll show you how I did this. It is not what you think, unless you watched a video from back then. Now, the whole point of this is I wanted a guitar that resonated hollow body style, arch-topped style, but I do not want a center block. So the whole thing is hollow, except there. If you listen as I stroke it, you can hear where the solid wood is. Okay, and it goes right up to there. So there's a finger, and I think it actually has that kind of a horseshoe shape, where those are supported, but the rest of the instrument resonates. I'm not sure what we used back then, quite probably bare knuckle, or House of Tone, or something we made ourselves actually, but I'm feeling bare knuckle. The base instrument was CNC made. It's a design that I have made many of, many iterations. Carved tops exist, etc. There is this very cool Nick Huber inspired neck joint. That's actually something that I'm not that happy with. I'm going to grab the camera and we're just going to talk through this, and I'm going to be mean to former me. So this was in the very, very early days of our forays into CNC machining. And frankly, we should have gone in and carved this cutaway far more deeply by hand, even if we didn't have the knowledge or capacity back then to machine those curves. And it's a fairly complex curve actually on the CNC. So I'm not happy with that. I'm also very not happy with the evidence of the finishing around that joint there. It's not completely deleterious. It doesn't take away from the instrument, but it's just not the level of quality that I would do these days. So the copper leafing is poorly done, but it's poorly done to achieve a texture. And it had a very, very basic finish over the top. I'm happy with the neck shape. It's a relatively chunky but comfortable C. There's a little bit of a flat there, but nobody would feel that. I do like the curve here. This medallion, I remember designing this late at night a long time ago and thinking it was incredible. It isn't really. It's one of those things. How do you put in a logo on an instrument and replicate that time and time again without lasers and CNCs and all of that sort of thing? And we ended up with that. Shirtler tuners, open back, lightweight, very nice. And while I like this swoop, I don't like the shape of the headstock. Another example of the logo. So that's the old crimson font, and we cut it and then hand engraved the etching. It looks very handmade. In fact, that might have been completely handmade. This was back in the days when I thought that straight string pull was the be-all, end-all, the most important thing. And with a break angle like this, which is not very extreme, it's about 9 degrees, it isn't the most important thing in the world. With our 3-a-side headstocks now, we push those two strings out a little bit. The string's at a slight angle. It's only a few degrees, and where it goes over the nut, you don't have any binding issues. And with that, you get a little bit more weight in the headstock and a little bit more width. And everybody likes a good curve. And yeah, skinny headstock, rarely attractive. Another thing is that this textured finish on the headstock here has worn away over time, and I like it was built with a sort of pre-relict kind of feel, and I'm happy with the fact that it shows evidence of use, and quite a lot of use. That is a horn, buffalo horn nut, and it's, you know, beautifully shaped. This is something that many people don't bother with. Rounding off all of the edges, all of the places where the palm of your hand may well meet the nut is important. It's a little bit of an overhang there. We've got a 9-degree angle. It's a fixed bridge. We don't have a tremolo or anything like that, which means that we're not going to be sawing the strings over the nut. Personally, I prefer around about 10 degrees. It just makes sense. We've got enough tension to play comfortably, and not so much that you run the risk of you know, creating issues in string breaks, etc. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is potentially something that I need to revisit. I haven't thought about it in years. In fact, I think I got my opinion wholesale from Paul Reed Smith's. Incidentally, this has got, if I'm not mistaken, a PRS scale length, so midway between Fender and Gibson standard scales. I was very surprised when I saw the photos of this that it has tarnished. It has actually got this sort of verdigris, the patination, etc. I love the look. It genuinely, well, I freaking love it. But I'm also surprised, given what that material is. I take inspiration from everywhere, and sometimes you actually find it in the local craft shop. What I have here is called embossing powder. Essentially, I thought it was just pure plastic. It must have some actual copper content in it. It comes in many different colors. And basically what they use it for is if Granny's making a custom birthday card or something like that, and they sieve this over a template and end up with a nice heart, and then use a hot air gun, and it melts, and you end up with this sort of copper or black or gold colored mess. I haven't used it in years, but I do still have a bunch of this floating around. In fact, I was talking about it with my kids the other day. This is one of my favorite tools that we've developed at Crimson in recent years. It's a little sanding stick. Put on, you know, whatever you fancy. Let's add a little bit of texture, shall we? Okay. Potentially get yourselves a creme brulee torch for this. Nobody's ever accused me of being subtle. But I do like the effect. And now since I've started, I'm going to have to do the rest because, you know, completion. It's not like I have an issue not completing projects. Can anybody say hand-tooled any build? Which is being completed soon. Oh, now I'm playing. Oh, come on, Ben. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Never stop it. That's the one. That's the ticket.
That is cool.
Yep. And once this is cooled down, I've got a lovely textured custom sanding stick that I'm not going to drop. One of the things that I love about finding alternative methods to build or create finishes and effects and things is that if you find something like this that is mass produced for a major market, i.e. old people making greetings cards, or for example the beauty industry. I picked up a tiny little, essentially it's a rotary multi-tool for 20 quid on Amazon the other day. Insert big box retailer of your choice here. And it's mass produced for people to do their nails. And I looked at it and thought, hey, that's a tiny little pen-sized rotary tool that I can use to do inlays and engraving and stuff. It's a really interesting little machine. And this is a really interesting finish. The guitar, let's go back to the guitar. There is nothing fundamentally about this instrument that I would change. Needs a bit of a setup. Rings out, plays beautifully, is acoustically loud, is absolutely stable and solid. The neck joint is fantastic. You've got all of the access that you require, and some I can play the pickup. It is, again, in the final 5% of attention to detail and attention to design that I feel I messed up. If you win this guitar on Daily Guitar Draw and you want me to slightly fatten up the headstock with just a couple of pieces of wood put on and, you know, copper leafed, etc., I would happily do that and make a video over it. So, hey, go and buy a ticket, win the guitar, and ask me to do that, and we'll both have a sense of closure. And you'll have a nice new guitar for, you know, the low cost of a ticket or two on Daily Guitar Draw. I love the textured finish. I personally would now carve the all-access neck joint better. We do that differently and probably tidy up the finish on the back of the neck there. That finish there is from, from the powder. So actually, what that says to me is that I'd put the powder over the whole back of the instrument as well, or maybe I tried to put the embossing powder on the back of the heel there. But either way, I don't like the evidence of that. Things like logos, it's a little bit basic. We do things much differently nowadays, but it is a fantastic guitar. I kind of regret not keeping this one, to be honest. I will hand it over to somebody else to play this out because, you know, I can.